qualitative data?
Yes.
Okay, our default proceed.
Okay, teacher. There are two types of data, qualitative data and quantitative data. Qualitative data is data that is not given in numeric values, but okay, it is presented in words, and examples include shapes, things like size, color, origin, type of something, sound, texture, taste, and smell of something. Yeah, they used to show the quality of something. That's qualitative data. While there's also quantitative data. This is data that is given in numeric value and it involves measurement and counting. So quantitative data is divided into two. One, discrete quantitative data. Then the second one is continuous quantitative data. In discrete quantitative data, it is data that can only take specific number of values, and those values have to be finite, and it can only be written in whole numbers.
Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you mean by finite?
Finite means like the number is specific. Okay. From what I think, finite means the number is specific. If they say infinite, it means it's like never ending.
Okay, thank you.
So finite is like a specific number. So teacher also said, okay, anything that can be counted can be discrete. Examples include number of students in a class, number of boxes, number of things, number of cats. Yeah, because you can say 2 cats, but you can't say 2.5 cats. So that's the main idea behind discrete and continuous quantitative data. So let's go to continuous quantitative data. This is data that can take any numeric value and it's anything that can be measured. Can also be an infinite number. Examples include speed, height, mass, weight, age, temperature, mass, length, and even voltage. Because when you measure the length of something, you can say 12.5 meters, you can say 12 meters, 12.5 meters. So it can take any range of values. Then we also did the different ways of collecting data. Examples are surveys, observations, sensors, measurements, experiments, surfing the internet, documents, and recordings. Then teacher said data is collected, organized, interpreted using a tally chart. Then it's displayed in 3 different ways. One is a pictogram, a bar chart, then a pie chart. Then he also said the people you're going to collect the data from are very fundamental and should be kept at the back of your head. Yeah, then there were 2 examples. That was actually one example, then there was also an exercise. That's all I remember.
Okay. Okay.
Now I
Thank
can
you.
understand everything.
Thank you, Crown. Okay, hope Marjorie now you're okay with what we discussed last time. And that summarizes all that we discussed last time. Bruno, please, I request you to make teacher Jennifer as well a host in that sense. Thank you. Okay, so as we left, that was last Friday, we tasked you to do the exercise there, and I would love to hear from you. How many were able to attempt, especially question 1, because there are a minute, because the other questions, the other last 3 questions need you to have maybe your class or sample space, or that people in that case from whom you can collect data in that sense. Okay, maybe before we head to the exercise, someone was saying she has a question.
That's what I was going to ask about question 2, 3, and 4 because it has to be in class.
Yes. So I understand you could not attempt questions 2 to 4 because you needed a sample space in that case. But I understand you tried. If you did, question 1. So first we are going to look at how you did question 1. For those of you who tried, please let's hear from you. And those who didn't, please follow and then find a way of doing that exercise because it is very important moving forward. Okay. Hope, let's hear from you.
The activity was the children in a class were asked to state their favorite chips and the results were given. So for me, basically in this activity, I counted the number of tallies and I put the frequency, and I counted that the people who eat ready salted crisps were 5, salt and vinegar crisps were 9, cheese and onion crisps were 7, prawn cocktail crisps were 3, and smoky bacon crisps were 6, and giving me a total of 30. Then the next question was represent the data on a bar chart. My scale was 1 centimeter represents 1 person. So I did that. And the next question was copy and complete the following table and draw a pie chart. No, a pictogram. Here I say that 1 person represents 2 people. So basically on ready salted chips where there are 5, I drew, since we know that 1 person represents 2 people, on ready salted chips I drew 2 people and a half, and on salt and vinegar crisps, since there were 9, I drew 1, 2, 3, 4. I drew 4 and a half. Yes, and on cheese and onion crisps, 6 or 7, I drew 3 and a half people, and prawn cocktail crisps, I drew 1 and a half, and smoky bacon crisps, I drew 3 people, since each man represents 2 people. And then the next question was copy and complete the following table and draw a pictogram. After I got, I went back to the table and looked at the frequency, and since I had the total, I got the frequency of each flavor of the crisps that the children liked in the class, and I got the frequency out of the total times 360 degrees, giving me 60 degrees for ready salted crisps, and for salt and vinegar crisps, I got 108 degrees, and salt and onion crisps, I got 84 degrees. Prawn cocktail crisps, I got 36 degrees. Smoky bacon crisps, I got 72 degrees, and I drew my pie chart. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hope has given us an overview of what we should do. Now, let's now not rush through this. I'm going to be choosing a fence here to count for us the tallies there and give us the frequency.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, Charity, a minute, such that we add very well, obtain the total in that sense. Then after, I request someone to break the content above or the data and give us the pictogram picture in that sense. And then after we shall go to how really we obtained the angles, and someone should tell us whether the way they calculated the angles in the column, in the study column there, here was really okay. Or we need to edit a few things there. Okay, but before we proceed there, let's first hear from Charity. Charity was saying something.
Yes, teacher, I'm asking that when you are when you're representing the data using a pictogram, can you use another scale apart from one man representing two people? Can you choose another scale?
Like?
Let's say you can decide to say that one man represents like one person. Since they didn't give us a scale to use, can you choose a scale of your own?
Okay, friends, what you should note here is that we use two because it is easier to divide. Say if you're having three people, okay, you can divide that man into two, so that half of the man represents a person, okay. But if we say one man represents a person, then if you needed, if say you have, okay, anyway, you can as well do that, depending, given that you can divide very well. If say you're having three, then you'll be having three of them if one man is representing one. But we are looking at a point whereby you're having a bigger number, greater than 30, okay? And adding a person consistently to obtain, say, 50 or what will be a little bit computation expensive. So that's why we use at least a bigger number to accommodate many people in a person in that sense, using a pictogram. But if a number is very small, you can say one drawing, any that you can use. Last time we say that you can use as well balls, and you say one ball represents a person, or one circle represents a person, in that sense. But as I said earlier, given the frequency or the total number you have, it can help you determine how far you can do that. I hope that makes sense, Charity. There. Okay, we have 3 hands. Let's first hear from Anna. At least Marjorie had said something earlier. Anna? Anna, please.
Excuse me. Can you try to be audible enough? Can you please try to be audible enough?
Hey, okay. I didn't know that I'm not audible enough. Okay. Maybe as well need to up your volume, but it is okay. I'm going to do my best. Okay, I was saying that.
Okay, thank
you. All right. I said earlier that Charity was asking, is it always a must that we consider a picture or any diagram for a pictogram to represent two people? And I said, not necessarily, because we always accommodate a bigger number, especially when you have a bigger sample space or when your frequency is bigger. Because you're looking at a picture whereby you're having the total as 100, and for a certain case, you have like 30 people doing something. And if you try to say one ball represents a person, then you need to draw 30 of them for a pictogram. And that will be a little bit difficult for you, hardening your working. So that's why we accommodate like 2 of them or 4 to reduce the number or pictures or men you need to draw, or bows in that case. But if your frequency is very small, say 20 or 30, then you can use a bow to represent a person for a pictogram in that sense. Hope that is okay now. Charity, do you want to say again something?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
let's
I
find.
have answered my question.
Okay. Then Vanessa.
Teacher, I'm just asking, the way the tallies are drawn here, like, are they supposed to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, then cross to make it 5?
Yes, we said last time, I think it was Tuesday last time, we said that there are a number of ways, okay? But I understand you're used to this one, where you're having, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you cross to have a band of 5, 5. Okay, though here they just draw the 5 of them in that order, but we can go with this. It is easier that way, such that you know very well that a band now you're having 5 of them in that case. Okay. Then Marjorie, you had a concern. Okay, your hand is down. Okay. Now, let's have someone to give us the frequency. We're on question 1. The frequency.
This.
The frequency for the first flavor. So as you are giving the answers here, you fill your table as well there. Anna, unmute.
Should I give for one or I give for all, teacher?
Give for the first one.
Okay, for ready salted, the frequency is 5.
Okay, and how do you get 5?
I counted that tally.
Okay, very good. Then the next one, let's hear from Faith. Faith and
yes, and the flavor, salt and vinegar, the frequency is 9. I got that by counting the items in the tally.
okay, so that is 9 for the next one. Okay, let's move to cheese and onion. Let's hear from Queen now.
So for cheese and onion, I got 7 by counting the tally.
Okay, 7. So far we have 5, we have 9 and 7. Then the next one, let's hear from Grace.
Teacher, for prawn cocktail, I got 3 by counting the tally.
Okay, 3. Very good. Then the next one, let's hear from Tendo. Tendo.
For smoky bacon, I got 6 by count.
Okay, Tendo is saying 6, though the network wasn't that good, but thank you, 6. Now, let's add there. What do we get as our total in that case? Anyone ready to give us Paro Chirabo?
I think it's 30.
Okay, how do you get 30?
You add 5 plus 9 plus 7 plus 3 and plus 6.
Okay, and we write the total there. Okay, don't write it here, but we write it there. Okay, we write the total in there. All right, now let's move to how would we draw the bar chart in that case? Someone to take us through. how you can draw a bar chart in that case. Okay, we have usual suspects here, but I would love to hear from other people. Maybe let me sample a few here. Someone here. Okay, Charity, maybe teacher Martha can help me sample our backbenchers for online lessons here. Nashimuli Esther, do you have you on call here? Maybe you can take us through how you can draw a bar chart in that case. You can unmute. Nachimuli Esther, if you are with you, you can unmute. Maybe Esther is not on call right here.
Let's
hear from
Joseph.
Okay.
Musi Merena. You can unmute and say something. It looks like she has just left instead. Okay, let's hear from one last one, maybe. Let's hear from Mirembe Divine. Mirembe, please unmute and say something.
Or if one is not in position to say something, one can type as well in the chat. We shall be able to look at your comment in there. Okay, Patricia is asking, teacher, on a bar chart, do you also get yourself a scale to use? Yes. If they don't give you a scale, then you choose your own scale in that sense. Let me first share with you maybe this. Say if you're having okay, let me sketch this very fast here. Say if that is your vertical, and then this, remove this very fast. I try to look at that. Okay, let's go with that. What you should recall to do is to label your vertical and then your horizontal. And then your horizontal, depending on what you have. Say if you're dealing with marks or flavors, then you can write there. You can write there flavors for your horizontal. Okay, I understand it can be a little bit hard, but anyway, we'll proceed in that case. So I'm just giving you a sample, but you need a graph paper.
It can take like 70 hours, just like you want to give.
Okay, someone should mute the teacher Martha, help me. Okay, I was saying that I'm just giving you a sketch, but to actually draw that, you need a graph paper in that case, because someone is asking me here. Okay. Teacher, in my graph book, the lines are thick. So should I color my bars since the pencil is not visible? Okay. I said that you can use a pencil if that is thick enough. But if you're accurate and you won't do a lot of mistakes, you won't make a lot of mistakes, you can use a pen as well. But shading is optional, okay? But in geography, I understand they emphasize shading maybe at one point, but here, shading is optional. All right, let me hear from someone. We have a few hands here. Best, unmute.
Teacher.
Yes, please.
Teacher, I was asking, can I draw the graph in like my classwork book, or I have to draw it in like my graph book?
Okay, we say that because we don't want you to congest your work, it's better having your graph book, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you have your graph book where you do all your graph work, then that will be easier. Even when you don't pluck out the page and then insert in your book, you can leave all the work intact in your graph book. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Any other questions before we move further? Teacher Martha, help me choose anyone there.
Okay, let's have Marjorie. I'm seeing Marjorie's hand up.
Okay.
Marjorie, you can unmute.
Teacher, I wanted to say that I only have a graph paper. Can I use it and then after I put the graph paper in the book? For now.
Okay. For now, you can do that, no problem. But when you get a graph, because we can have a number of questions to work out, right? So it's better to have your work at one point. Okay. I gave you a sample of that. So last time we discussed how we can draw a bar chart. We say that you choose a scale, your convenience scale, depending on what you have.
Proceed.
Okay.
Maybe before you proceed, there is Best Blood. Maybe we can hear what she has to say. Her hand is up.
Sorry, I left it up.
Okay. Okay. Marjorie as well, you can lower if you don't have any other concern in that case. Okay, thank you. So I was saying that we went through how we can draw a bar chart last time. So I request you to finish up that part B. And then we discussed as well part C. We say that as well, you choose your convenience scale. If your number is very small, you can say one ball or one small man representing a person, or you can say one small man or a ball represents two people in that case. Okay, now let's say, okay, Marjorie.
Teacher,
when I'm doing the work, do I have to jump like, okay, I have to miss some steps down, then I move a little bit up, or it should be just on the ground, like at the end of the paper? Or do I have to first jump some lines, then I start in the middle and click in the middle?
Okay, you can have like okay, let me first get you some. Let me first get you a sample here. Okay, let me first stop sharing. Okay, friends, if you, I don't know whether you can easily see my graph paper here.
Yes.
So there are some lines. There are some lines, okay? And we don't say that you should draw your lower axis here, but you can have like, you can skip like two small squares and you draw it here, okay? So that you have space where to write very well. and then to label maybe for the one below. And then for the vertical again, you can leave 2 or 1 from this end. You draw your vertical, okay? In that sense. I hope now you get the picture.
Yes,
There.
teacher.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes.
Teacher, the first examples that they gave of the bar chart, should we also write that example? Should we also do that example in the graph book?
Yes. Yes, please repeat that, because what you are given was just a sketch. Okay, was just a sketch. So it's better to redraw that and then find out whether you have the exact thing. But remember, I said that we get the data from the table. Okay, like the table we have here. From the table there, that's where we get all the information for the frequency and all the stuff. Okay, as we attempt these questions are there, we use the table given in that case. Okay. Marjorie still has a question. Okay, can unmute? Okay, now let's move to part D. Part D. Now, let me request someone to take us through that table. What do we need to do in that sense? Someone put up the hand. Okay. User suspects here, but okay. Let's hear from Vanessa. Vanessa, please.
Teacher, you first get the frequency, like let me start with ready salted. You get 5 out of 30 times 360 to get the degrees it will cover on the pie chart. And then you get for salted and vinegar, which is 9 out of 30 times 360. And okay, I haven't yet calculated them, but then you get for the rest, then you get the degrees. Then you use a suitable radius, which is big enough, but not too big. You draw the circle, then you can draw a line horizontally or vertically, and then you measure with your protractor from any angle, I think, but I prefer from the biggest going to the smallest, and then you name them like 60 degrees and that, and then you write their names, ready salted, salt and vinegar, and yeah, and they should add up to 360 degrees.
Okay, thank you, Vanessa. But my question is, because remember, they gave us only the first item, and we need to generate the angles for all the items there. So now, if you know the frequency, because we wrote the frequency already, we had 5, we had 9, we had 7, we had 3, we had 6. Now, let me hear from someone. Is what we have here under calculations okay? There. Is that how we obtain the angles?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Vivian, your hand is up. Let's hear from Vivian.
I think it's okay because, as Chasi had said, in math there are many ways to do or calculate a number. So whether you do this, you still get the same answer.
Okay, that's good. Okay, let's hear from some other person. Maybe there's a different view. Anyone? Okay, Queen.
Teacher, it's correct, but the appropriate one is you're supposed to get the frequency out of the total number of everything multiplied by 360 degrees to get the angle. But also how they did it is also correct, since there are many methods in math. But you still get the same answer.
Okay, very good. So friends, you're saying that if say you're having
Am I the only one who can't hear?
No,
I can't.
you're not the only one.
Even I can't hear.
Me neither.
I can separate it.
That's my computer. I can take it away. I dare you.
Joseph, we can't hear you. No, it
Seems
seems
teacher is not in the lesson.
You went off.
Yeah,
but
he went
he'll
off.
Okay, girls, as teacher Joseph returns, some of you have been asking how we can obtain the scale for the bar graph. I want you to note one thing, that when you're dealing with a bar graph, you need to look at the values that you've been given. So after looking at those values, come up with an appropriate scale. Let me say if they are even numbers, and at your level, those even numbers might not be so big. So you choose a scale that is appropriate, like maybe 2, 4, where you can easily get a bar graph with longer bars. Then when you're looking at odd numbers, you also choose an appropriate scale. You look at the values, come up with a scale that will really give you most of those numbers when you're plotting them on the graph. So always look at values you've been given and select a scale that can work for all or most of the values that you have in your data.
Teacher Martha?
Yes, Teacher Joseph, we had
Thank
lost you.
Yes, thank you for coming in. I got some technical glitch here, but I'm back. Unfortunately, I'm unable to share because maybe Bruno will come to my rescue in that sense. But we can proceed for now, as Bruno is doing the needful. So we're at the point of obtaining angles, and we say that the easier way is get the frequency of that item you're dealing with over the total. Our total is 30. So if the frequency is X, let me take some variable value because we shall be feeding in. If say your frequency is X, so X can be 5, can be 9, can be 7, can be 6, okay? You will substitute X out of 30, then times 360, and you'll be able to obtain the angles there. Now, the question can be, before Marjorie comes in, the question can be, what if I get the angles with decimal places? We said last time, and as well I will stress this, that when you have decimal places in your degrees, because you need to draw a pie chart, and you'll be using a protractor, which reads to 0 decimal places, you need to round off your angles to the nearest whole number in that case, okay? If say you get a 30.8, okay? because you need to measure using a protractor, you round off to 31, to the nearest whole number, that will be 31 degrees in that case. Okay, Marjorie, you have a question?
Yes, teacher. I was asking that when you're doing your work on a graph, and let's say your graph is small, or maybe the scale you've given it is small, but and the words, the names, let's say the flavor of the crisps as given here, it is salt and vinegar, and the name is long, it can't fit. Can you abbreviate it, or it should be the real name complete? Or you cannot abbreviate it like S and V, like abbreviate it. Or it's not allowed.
Okay, now the way you can write that, maybe let me go back to my graph.
The explanation of rounding off.
I'm going to repeat, please. No problem. I'm going to repeat, but let me first come here. Okay. Okay, Teacher Martha, would you please notify Bruno in that case? Because I can't do anything further beyond saying something here. I wanted to share with our friends here how we can label that. But briefly, as Bruno is doing that, Marjorie, to answer your question, if you have your graph, you can write in a vertical form, okay, from below, vertically moving upwards, such that you fix all your words in the boxes you have used to accommodate that item. Hope you get my picture in that sense. But later, when I regain my course, right, I will demonstrate to you there. Okay, someone was saying that how do we round off? And I said, if say you calculate and you're having, say, somewhere you're having your total. Let's take an example of, say, dividing 9 divided by 28. Say, for example, if our total was 28, okay? And then times 360. That would give us 115.7142857, okay, so on. But we can write 115 degrees would be 115.771 degrees, but we can't measure this on the using a protractor. So what do? We round off to the nearest whole number in that sense, and that would be 100. It will be 116 in that case, because when you round off 7 to this, because it is above 5, you add the 1 onto 5 to have 116 degrees in that case. That is the example I was giving in that case. But for many of the questions we shall have here, you might find out that the angles are exact or whole numbers. But take an example, if you have such a scenario, what do you do? So that is what you do, you round off to the nearest whole number. Okay, since
excuse me.
Yes, please.
When you've rounded off, is it fine if you put the rounded off the original number on the pie chart, or you have to put the rounded off number?
Okay, if say you calculated and you've got 115.71, you write that in your table, okay, and you approximate to. Okay, let me first reshare here. What I want us to do. there. Okay, say you're having, we said you're having 9. You're having 9 divided by 28. And then times. So this would give us 115.71 degrees. Okay, then you would approximate this to the nearest whole number and write 1116 degrees in that case. Okay, now because you're going to measure this angle using your protractor, that's what you will indicate on your pie chart. Okay,
Yeah.
you don't indicate this one because what you're measuring is 116. That's what you indicate.
Yes.
In that
Teacher,
sense.
another thing, so most times when you get numbers that need rounding off, when you add them together, they normally lead you to 359. So would it be like better if you put the number that has the decimal, but you make sure it has just one decimal place?
Come again, I didn't get you well.
No, normally when you get numbers that need rounding off, when you add them together, like you get the rounded off number and add all the numbers that you've rounded off, you normally get 359. So isn't it better to at least get the number with a decimal number with one decimal place and put it on the pie chart?
Okay, in that sense, okay, because that comes in when we have rounding off errors. That's what yields 359. But when you remember, I said that you first give, as per what I gave here, you first give your degrees to 2 decimal places there. Okay, so if you have a number of them to 2 decimal places, when you add them, they of course sum up to 360. They will sum up to 360 there. Very well. But you might find issues, especially when you round off to the nearest whole number, and that can approximate to, if it is not exactly at 360, then it will be a little lower or a little above that. And that is what we call rounding off errors. It is a result of rounding off errors. But for many numbers, it will be exact at 360 in that sense.
Is it fine if you put the number with its 2 decimal place or 1 decimal place, or it's strictly prohibited?
You know, it's better to give to 2. It's better to give to. Okay, let me emphasize this. Whenever you're having a number of decimal places, okay, for any number, you're approaching or you're approximating to an exact value, okay? And yes, when you reduce it to the lowest decimal number, then you're increasing your error in that number, or the error in the exact number. But that is above you. That is like a level above your level now. But for now, let's maintain having 2. If say you're having decimal places, maintaining having 2, and then round off to the nearest whole number such that you measure very well using your protractor.
Yes, yes. One last thing. Sorry, Kaitesi. One last thing. How about if you work out your number, you get all the rounded off, but you end up realizing that you have 350 degrees? Would it be allowed for you to put? Imagine like in a situation where you get 359 degrees. Would it be fine if we put the decimal number in the pie chart? I'm just asking in case it comes up.
No,
it can't, because remember that pie chart you're drawing is exact. Okay, what you should include there should be you should have measured it using a protractor. Okay, and a protractor can't measure decimal places. That's why we, even when you're having whole, decimal places, we round off to the nearest whole number.
Okay.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, best.
For me, my question was like, I had a thought that, for example, what if they want us to like give the data on a pie chart and like they have already represented like the data using ratio form. Like, for example, they want us to find like the percentages. I mean, yeah, like the percentage, like the degrees you're going to use to draw the pie chart, and like they give us the data with ratio form. I was asking how we are supposed to approach that, or is it even possible?
I'm trying to look through what you're trying to say, but okay, ratios are the same as fractions. Say if you're having 2 to 6 is the same as having, in that sense. Okay, you can first find the total, because yes. 2 to 5, if say you're having the ratio of girls to boys in a class is 2 to 5, then the total ratio would be 7, and then you'll be having 2 out of 7 for boys, and then if you want to determine their degrees, you get 2 out of 7 times 360. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So if you're having ratios, you first determine the total ratio, and then you the fraction for each. Simple.
Yes. Teacher.
Okay. Lastly, maybe.
I was inquiring. I just wanted to know, like, is that possible to come? Because it just came in, like, it just popped into my head, wondering whether that would possibly come in one of the questions.
Not really, because okay.
Yes.
That can be a special question in that case, but remember that this is a new curriculum whereby we basically emphasize what is in the learner's guide.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Edlin, please unmute. You have
Teacher, doesn't the fact that you're rounding off affect other angles?
Yes, as I said, it will affect the other angles, and that will bring in what we call rounding off errors. But we round off.
You have to round off the other angle.
No, you don't. If you got maybe, like the example I gave you, if you got 115.71 and the other is exact as 30, you have 90, you have another one of 80, then you don't need to round off the rest, okay? Just need to round off only this one with the decimal places to near whole number in that case. Okay, our default, we have only 2 minutes.
I have a question. What should we do about those other questions? Should we answer them?
Okay, now that's where we are heading. We are heading in that case, though the questions came in and they are very important. Now, because the other questions 2 to 4 need you to have a sample space. So in this case, let's use the population you have at home. We try to ask the members at home those questions. We collect data in that sense. For questions 2 to 4. Though 4 is a little bit tricky because our school is a single school, though we might have that, you might have to leave that. But 2 and 3, we can use the population you have at home and try to find out their views. In that case, we collect data and then we do the needful. We draw the table and then proceed as per what the questions are asking us. Okay, then when you do that as well, we shall request you to look through that situation of integration or activity of integration. It is very important, but we shall do that when we come back when you come back in that sense. Okay, it's 1 p.m. Sorry, it's 1 p.m. and we need to end this, but we still have a few hands, maybe in a minute. Let's hear from Rona. Rona. And also, friends, if you feel now you're okay as you're leaving, remember that we have tests. So the reason why we are spending a lot of time onto these concepts is because they are very important for you to understand, because they are very vital moving forward. Okay, Rona. We shall have Rona, then Anna. We'll close this. Rona, please unmute. Rona, do you have you on call? Okay, maybe Rona is not here. Anna?
Teacher, I was asking, for example, in the question, the third question in the activity of given us, I tried it out, but somehow I got some fractions, no, decimal numbers here and there, and they told us to find a suitable way of representing our data. But I had decimals and some were 1.3. Okay, there were not many, but still, I was just asking how do you draw them? The bar graph, do you get two small boxes and a half of the third box, or you have to calculate?
Sorry, I didn't get your question well. Sorry about that. Were you saying the sizes of the bars? Okay, the sizes of the bars don't depend on the frequency. Okay, you just choose the sizes. Okay, you can choose. Let me give an example here very fast. Having this as your graph paper, okay? You can decide to take two small squares, okay, to accommodate your bars, depending on the number. Or you can take one small square, okay, in that case. So it doesn't mean that the data will as well affect the sizes of the bars, no. They will be of the same width in that case.
Teacher, that's not my question.
Pardon?
That is not what I was asking.
Okay, please come again. Maybe I didn't get you well.
How do you represent decimals on a bar graph?
Hey, decimals. Decimals, how? Because remember, you're plotting a bar graph, you're plotting frequency on the vertical, and then the data you have on the horizontal. So I don't know. Because we don't use angles. We don't use angles to draw a pie chart. Sorry, a bar chart or bar graph. Remember we said that we use the information you have in the table in that case. So the information you have here, the information you have in this table is what you use. You use that for your horizontal, and then the frequency there for your vertical. And you don't have any decimal places there. Hope I have answered you, my friend. Okay.
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
Teacher, what about on part E? What flavor is the mode? What do you do there?
Pardon?
On part E, what flavor is the mode? What do you do?
Hey, okay. Mode, you're looking at any flavor with the biggest number or with the highest frequency. That will give you the mode. Okay, and according to the hour there, what will be the flavor with the highest frequency?
Salt and vinegar.
Okay, very good. Hope that is okay now.
Yes.
But I thought that it was the number of times a particular number shows.
Yes, but if they ask for a flavor in that case, because they are saying what flavor is the mode, they're asking for the flavor, okay? Not a mode specifically in that case.